Hi friends, welcome back to Sheena's Homestead. We are out in the garden today and I have a whole bed of garlic here that is ready to be harvested. So on today's video, I am going to show you, first of all, how to find the 3 signs that means your garlic is ready to be harvested, and 2, how to pull it up and to put it aside so that it dries out perfectly for long-term storage. So here we have this bed of garlic. We planted this together, like I said, back in October, and now we are ready to harvest. I did pull out 1 row already because I wanted to make sure that everything was good and ready before I showed you, and it is. So I'm going to show you how I look to see if my garlic is done. And we are looking for 1, 2, 3, at least 2 dead leaves, 3 and 4. So I am completely confident that this is ready to be harvested. The second sign that I look for is this yellowing at the top of the plant. So it almost looks like it's all dying, and that just means that the bulb is ready to be harvested. And you can see right at the tips, just like that, it is ready to go. So I've got this little shovel. You don't need something this big. If you just have a little hand shovel, that is fine as well. But I like this one in particular because I can really get underneath the garlic and help pull it up. So I'm going to be using this one today, and I'm going to show you really quick how I do it from afar, and then I'll bring you up closer so you can see. Do this one here. And I'm just making sure that I'm nice and far away from my garlic so that I don't nick it or sever it in any way. So I just loosen up the ground like this, and then I get a little closer. And I'm going to use it as leverage now as I pull up. And here it is. And then you just use your hand to get rid of the extra dirt. And you don't want to be too rough on it. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That is some beautiful garlic. This is the German variety. And oh my gosh, it looks so good. And look at those healthy roots on that system there. I love it. So this did really well. All right, so don't worry too much about the dirt that is on here. So I'm just going to use my hand to kind of wipe things off gently, but we don't want to wipe off the skin that is the protective layer on the outside. We are going to let this dry just like this, and when it dries, the dirt will become super easy to remove, so don't worry about that. All right, let's go in a little bit closer and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, so we're gonna work with this one here. Just gonna pull out a couple of the weeds that are nearby. And I'll show you how I start a good 6 inches away, and then just push down and kind of break up the dirt around that bulb. If you want to, you can use your hand to pull some away, and then do it again in another direction. And loosen that up. Oh my gosh, this one is a monster. But we want to make sure that our shovel does not touch the garlic because we don't want it to break up any of that skin, because that skin is protective. So now I'm still about, we're going to do like 4 inches away, and I'm going to go kind of deep this time. And then I put my hand right here on the garlic, and as I use the shovel for leverage, you also pull up on your plants. Oh my gosh, that is a monster. Look at that. And it smells amazing. Okay, so I'm going to show you one more time. I'll show you on this one right next to it. And I'm just loosening up the soil. And then I'm going to move it away. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is monster garlic. That is just amazing. You guys, look at this one. It is enormous. I mean, that definitely is the elephant garlic variety brand. It's so big. This has been a great year for garlic so far. I am really pleased with these results. It's so amazing. Okay, so I'm almost done with this bed, as you can see, and I can't even pick up all the garlic that we harvested. Let's see. Oh, I'll do the best I can. Look at that. It is amazing. So what we're gonna do is bring this back up to the house now. And before I do that, I'm gonna just sort through all of it and make sure that I have the biggest and best put aside, because I'm gonna plant those next year. And then any that have any sort of like blemish or that I don't think is gonna last all winter, I'm going to actually keep it aside so that we use that quicker and faster. So I'll probably, like for example, the top broke off of this when I was harvesting it, so this will be the first that I'm gonna use along with some of the smaller ones. So that's how it works. I'm gonna keep those for now, and then we're gonna get all of this out on a table and get it nice and dry. All right, so just like I said, I'm gonna go through and pick some of the smaller ones, maybe things that have like a little rip or maybe a dig in them. I'm gonna keep those aside for the kitchen. We're gonna use those first. And then these bigger ones, I'm just gonna make sure I get most of the dirt off, but don't be too worried about that. So when this does finally dry out, all the dirt will come off super easily. You just kind of have to dust it off a little bit, and you can even remove a layer, the first layer of skin on your garlic. And then the fun part, we get to braid our garlic and put it in beautiful strands that are gonna hang in our basement, and we can go down there and grab a piece or two anytime that we need fresh garlic. Mine lasted me all through the winter, and I planted even more this time, so I'm gonna have even more to gift to friends and family. Hi friends, we ran out of time the other night when we were harvesting our garlic and I didn't get a chance to show you how I lay it all out. So this is the basement of my home and it is really dry and it is really nice and chilly down here. If I leave my garlic outside, that works for me for some years. Like last year, it was extremely dry. We had one of the biggest droughts we've ever had. This year it has been humid every single day, like you're literally drinking the air. So I don't want to leave my garlic out there. I don't want it to mold. So I am going to set up here in my basement and I have an 8-foot table here and I have leftover photography paper that I use as backdrops for some of my clients. Sometimes I let the kids just color on it and then sometimes I hold some aside for a project like this. I am sure that you do not have photography paper at home, but you can use other things like paper bags from Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or anything like that. Just cut them open and I would put the printed side down so it's not touching your garlic or whatever it is you're drying. You can do this process with onions too. And I would not use newspaper, and the reason I wouldn't is because the ink can get onto your food and it is toxic. If you look that up, I believe it's BPA. There's a lot of BPA in receipts from the grocery store and also newspaper. So that is not a product I would use. Another thing you could do is if you have a lot of cardboard boxes, you could cut that up and lay that out as well. You don't even need a table if you have cardboard boxes. You could put it directly on your ground as long as you don't have any pest issues or animals that could get to it, because garlic and onions is toxic to dogs. So keep that in mind. So you can watch me now as I lay this out and I'm going to show you how I put all of my garlic in a single layer. Here's round one, and I've got them in a closed ended box. You don't want to carry them in something like a basket because there's a lot of dirt left on these still, and you don't want it to get all over your house in transit. So make sure you're carrying them in something that doesn't leave a trail of dust and dirt. And for my garlic, I am leaving on the stalk because I am going to use it to tie my garlic really pretty in those beautiful things that you see in pictures of old Italy and, you know, farm life from before. So that's why I'm leaving mine on. There are people who like to cut theirs and let it dry like that. That's totally fine. And this right here is why we don't want to use a basket. We want to use something that is closed. But look at this beautiful site. I have some of the German varieties, which are smaller and more like the garlic you get at the store. And then I have others that are elephant garlic, and it's about the size of your fist. So we had a really good year for garlic. Do your best to put a single layer down. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to make sure that each bulb touches the paper. I'm not so worried about the rest of it. That is okay if some of the green parts overlap, but we just want to make sure that the actual bulb on each of these is touching the paper so it gets a chance to dry out. So as you can see, this is the method that works for me. I know that some people don't let any of their stems touch each other, but this works just fine for me. So I'm gonna let these sit here. I wish I could tell you how long they're gonna stay in this room, but I actually don't know. Sometimes they dry out really quickly and sometimes it takes a little longer. So last year I waited about 3 weeks before I was able to take any and tie them up. You just want to make sure 100% that all the moisture is dried out of the stalks of your plant so that you don't get any type of mold. That is how you keep them long into the winter, and it is the reason why I grew this much garlic. And believe it or not, this is only half of my harvest. I have to go out tonight and harvest the rest of the garlic, which is so fun to me, and garlic is the first major harvest that I get to do in a season, so I don't mind one bit. I'm actually excited to do it. So this is how I dry my garlic until I am ready for its long-term storage. Here we are again, friends, yet another day and more garlic. So far I have counted 200 cloves of very good garlic. Actually, I should say 200 bulbs of garlic. So those are downstairs drying just like I showed you earlier, but now I've taken all the little ones that didn't make the final cut, and I am getting these prepared for our pantry, and these will be the first ones we use. So I'm leaving a 2-inch cut on here, and I'm just trimming off the roots. And then these are just going into a bucket right now. For final storage, I'm actually going to put them in a basket because you want good airflow, and you want to make sure we keep them in a dark, cool place. But even this garlic here will last me a really long time. It's just that it didn't grow as big as the other ones and doesn't look like, you know, the picture perfect quantity or the picture perfect quality that we're going for, but they'll still get used up. So these will go in salsas and all of my other canning projects, just like that. Thank you so much, friends, for following along with me today. Today was a really exciting episode because it was the first time we got to harvest something large out of our 2024 garden. Things are going great. The weather has been awesome. It has been nice and warm, so all the plants are getting all the things that they need. Garlic was a huge success. Please follow me for more videos on harvesting, gardening, cooking, and more. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you again next time on Sheena's Homestead. Bye, friends.